In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to connect with a higher power of your understanding. I think a lot of people right now are waking up to there must be something more than this. There must be a better way to live. And there is another way. And no matter where you're at in life, whether you are newly sober or going through something hard or just wanting to evolve and better yourself, having a higher power, being connected to something greater than yourself will make your life so much easier. You're able to navigate the ups and downs of life with more resilience and flow. You're able to have so much more compassion and forgiveness for yourself and other people. And you're able to just go through life with more of a sense of joy and play and openness and curiosity. Imagine a world like that where everyone feels that way and is connected to something greater than themselves that also connects them to everyone and everything else in life. Wow. So that is my intention and my hope with this video. I hope it reaches someone who wants to connect to a higher power but doesn't quite feel that connection yet. Here are some ways that you can think about it and go about it that might make it a little bit more accessible for you. Hi, my name is Francie, and this is Fourth Horse Studio. Here we talk about all things spiritual, wellness, and becoming your most authentic, true, radiant, beautiful self that you are. All right, without any further ado, let's get into it. Number one, willingly suspend your disbelief. If you have gone your whole life not believing in a higher power, not believing in a God, not believing that there's anything greater, it might feel weird and uncomfortable at first. It might feel like if you try to pray, you're just talking into the void, or if you try to meditate, your thoughts are too loud and nothing's happening. I think it's the willingness to engage in the practice and the openness of mind and heart that there just might be something out there that you don't know about yet that is important. You don't know what you don't know. And I think as long as you just try these practices with, like I said, a little bit of willingness, a little bit of openness, you never know what you might experience. So keep that in mind and keep exposing yourself. This will be in one of my later points too, but keep exposing yourself to people and mentors who really are connected to a higher power, because you can feel it when somebody is really tapped into something greater. Be around those people, ask them questions, share with them what you're going through. They might be able to help. Listen to podcasts, listen to YouTube videos. Just surround yourself with people and resources who really do feel that higher power. And soon enough, you'll start to feel it too. Number two, think of your relationship with a higher power just like you would your relationship with any other human being. Relationships need time and effort, attention and care. If you're not giving that or receiving that, the relationship inevitably will deteriorate. Deteriorate. That word is kind of hard to say. And the way I see it, God is always giving us love, attention, care, support. So if I'm not feeling a relationship with God, it's a sign that I need to do some work on my end. Put more time and effort into the relationship and see what happens. So yeah, think of it like your relationship with your partner, your mom, dad, sister, brother, friend. All of those need work. It's not just gonna happen out of the clear blue sky. Number three, think of God like the great outdoors. Just spending more time in nature. And that's why I came out here to make this video today, because man, it's hard to really put into words what happens when you just spend more time existing in nature. Not running, not walking or hunting or fishing, just being. Allow yourself to sit. Let the sounds and the sights and the feelings of nature just wash over you and enter your heart. There's no explaining it. Don't take my word for it. Just go do it. It brings a certain peace and a certain connection that is really hard to come by when you're not consistently connecting with nature in this way. It really reminds you of your place in things. You know, the life force that is inside me and animates me is the same as the life force that animates these trees and makes the snow fall. Just being in that You don't have to think about it. You don't have to try. You don't have to really do anything, but you'll feel some sort of a higher power working in you and through you and connecting you to it all in some really beautiful ways. So that's number 3. Number 4, you can think of God as group of drunks. And this is another AA thing, but feel free to this is just God in other people, working through other people to get to you, working through you to get to other people. Be on the lookout for mentors, like I touched on earlier, who really are connected to a higher power and rooted in a deeper faith and rooted in an inner stillness. There's a lot to be gained just from being around those people. And always be noticing, is God speaking to you through another person just on the street? You might be surprised what messages come through when you just start paying attention and start viewing every single person you meet as God, as someone who has this creator dwelling within them. It's pretty amazing. Number 5, you can think of God like good, orderly direction. Start getting in touch with your true feelings and your true emotions. I didn't realize in early sobriety how dissociated from my body I was and disconnected from my emotions. I had spent a lot of my life suppressing the more difficult, lower vibrational emotions, the anger, the fear, the worry, the doubt, the anxiety. I didn't want to feel it, and I taught myself not to feel. I shut that all down. But God is that still small voice from within that speaks to you in really subtle and soft ways. How could I listen to that if I was too busy numbing and suppressing everything else inside me too? So a really good practice that I did in early sobriety is, as I started to defrost and wake back up to the emotions that were living inside of me this whole time, I set random alarms on my phone to remind me to tune in, get curious what's going on within me right now. And it really made a significant impact. I could be like, oh, I have a tightness in my chest. My breath feels shallow. My arms are kind of clenched. I'm feeling some anxiety right now. And then from there, I could ask, what would God have me do right now, knowing how I'm feeling? And then you just take the next indicated action. And that's being in a dialogue with God, taking good, orderly direction from the present moment reality and truth of what's living in you at any given time. You can use your emotions like a guidance system and just take that next indicated step. That's good, orderly direction. That's being in dialogue with God. Number 6, you can think of God as gift of desperation. This is kind of a piggyback off of the previous point. Not only do you want to get in touch with all your emotions, but you specifically want to get in touch with your pain and suffering and let it crack you open to be able to receive and experience a higher power in a way that you couldn't before when you were running from your pain. I used to find all sorts of ways to escape from my pain and suffering, and I still do. I'm no saint. But beforehand, I did it through drugs and alcohol, and what I didn't realize was that when I was running from pain and suffering, which was the reality of my experience in that moment, I was also running from God himself, from my higher power, because higher power is reality, is truth. And when I was denying and suppressing and running away from reality in some way, I was also running away from God. And when I had to turn toward my suffering instead of away as I started getting sober. And I just needed to rely on a higher power in order to do that, because the version of me who ran from her suffering she didn't have the capacity, she couldn't bear her suffering. But the version of me who didn't have all those escape mechanisms anymore had to find a way to bear it. And for me, and hopefully for you too, having a higher power is the mechanism that allows you to do that. I wouldn't wish pain or suffering on anyone. No one wants to experience it. But the moments in my life that I've been the lowest and that I've been in the deepest pain, that's when I have touched God or opened in ways that I never had been able to otherwise. So I don't know, pain and suffering is a hard thing, but it's a reality of life. And whenever I have gotten more in touch with my pain and my suffering, I have felt more compassion for myself and others. I've become gentler. I've become more forgiving. And I don't know, I see that as God working in my life. Number 7 is prayer. And prayer is something that felt really foreign to me when I began this whole journey. Like I said earlier, it really did feel like I was speaking into the void.
Who's on the other end? What are they going to do? What are they going to hear?
What's the point of it all?
But the more that I engaged in prayer and talked to God, the more that I could feel God working in my life, the more that I felt the closeness of that relationship. So here are just some ways you might try it out in your own life if prayer is something that was foreign to you too. One is just talking to God like you're talking to a friend. So I'll just be like, hey, God, I'm on my way to work today. I'm not really feeling it, but please find a way to work in my life today. Help me be on the lookout for you, seeing you in everyone I meet, and remembering you in everything that I do. Also, giving thanks to God for every little thing in prayer. Thank you for the opportunity of another day. Thank you for the breath in my lungs. Thank you for the ability to walk. Thank you for the ability to speak. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can find so many things to be grateful for, even when you're having a rough day or going through a tough time. And speaking those thanks out loud to God really works wonders. Another way to pray is the principle of atonement. This is from a text called A Course in Miracles. And this basically involves becoming aware of when your thoughts are going sideways, when you're getting into worry, doubt, fear, judgment towards another, judgment towards yourself. Being willing to give it up to God, let it go, and then asking that He takes the energy of whatever you are feeling and uses it for your highest good, the other person's highest good, some outcome of His will. So just for an example, let's say I'm getting into anger, judgment, and resentment. I say, oh God, you know how I'm looking at him. Take my anger, judgment, and resentment and use it for our deeper connection. Use it for my love and compassion and understanding. Use it to make me the woman you created me to be. And then you let it go. And you might have to keep saying this prayer 10 times every minute until you feel something, but just see what happens if you start putting this into practice for tiny little moments in your life. Some really miraculous things can happen, do happen. And finally, if you just don't have the words, you can find pre-written prayers that really resonate with you that you can fall back on. For me, it's the prayer of St. Francis and the Serenity Prayer. I remember when I was working a job that I didn't like, I just said over and over again as I was cleaning bathrooms and sweeping floors, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Make me an instrument of your peace. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And you can just repeat those words over and over again until they really feel true to you and you can feel them shifting something inside you. So that's prayer. Last thing I'll talk about today, number 8, meditation. Meditation is such a huge tool in your spiritual toolbox to help you feel more connected to a higher power. If prayer is talking to God, meditation is listening to God. This helps open that two-way street for an authentic connection that you can nurture every day. There are so many ways to meditate. You can get Insight Timer. It's a great app with thousands of guided meditations. It also has a simple timer on it that allows you to do seated, silent meditations. So if you like, we can practice just for a few breaths together right now. Wherever you are, whether you're seated, lying down, or on a walk or doing chores, just start to become more aware of your breath, following the in-breath from the beginning to the end, and then out-breath from beginning to end. Just using that as an anchor. Anytime you notice your mind wandering, you come back to watching the breath. And you can use different things as anchors. I also really like using the sounds around you. Whenever you notice your mind wandering, anchor yourself in the sounds going on in the present moment. You can also use your inner body sensations. Whenever you notice your mind start to wander, come back to feeling your body from the inside out. And you can start small. You can start with 30 seconds even. That's what I did when I first started because I have a really busy mind that likes to wander a lot. And then maybe you increase it to 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And just a little bit every single day goes a really long way. It makes you so much more calm and non-reactive, able to get some distance and detachment from your thoughts so that you're not quite buying into them as absolute truth the moment that they come up. It makes you so much more focused and aware and observant of what's going on in your life. So this helps foster a connection with a higher power because God is working in our lives every moment of every day, whether we notice it or not. But when you're meditating consistently, you're a lot more likely to notice the tiny little signs and synchronicities of God working on your behalf. And that's all I have to say in this video. I hope something that I said resonated and helped you connect with a higher power of your own understanding in a more deep, real, fun way. I hope that this helps make your life easier and better and helps you navigate whatever you're going through right now. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm sending you so much love. If this video resonated, please give it a like, a comment, subscribe for more videos like this. And if it resonated, feel free to share it with a friend as well who you think might benefit from it. Thank you so much again. Sending you so much love. I'll see you here next time. Bye. I have an outline here, so just in case I forget anything. Also, I might make some cuts here if I'm getting overly yappy, which I am known to do. Number two. No. Okay. Number.